What's up, guys? This is Bubba TV24 and welcome to the channel. Today we are in the Kart Ride UGC event for Christmas. I wasn't able to live stream this, but I was able to play through it a little bit over the course of Christmas and into the 26th. And I'm doing commentary after the fact because this was very long and it was very difficult, and I got to the point where I stopped listening to the music in the background and started playing YouTube videos, so I'm going to add my own music underneath of it. What you're seeing behind you are the completed runs up until level 19 of this UGC event. There were 20 levels, the final level being level 20, and it was really just the end of the kart ride. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit sick right now. I think I'm trying to fight a cold or something going on, and it is wearing me out a little bit. I'm ready to go to bed, honestly, but this was a very different UGC kart ride from the last one they did, because this one was difficult like the last one, but it wasn't as difficult as the last one. There were some very tricky, very difficult sections, but nothing that was so hard that it made me quit. Actually, that's not true. Level 19 was incredibly difficult, and I will end up skipping it as well at the end of this. So I did get all the way to 19 and skip 19. I do put in my best run of that here in this video because it was, well, when we get there you'll see, but it's literally the length of a whole kart ride from any of the other kart rides you would ever get through. So it is a thing. It is super difficult, but really this one wasn't too bad in terms of its overall difficulty. As you can see here, there are a lot of slidey bits and axes and stuff like that, so I will be having to slide and like evade all this stuff, and there is actually quite a lot of that in this kart ride. There are a lot of slidey bits, and unfortunately, because of the nature of kart ride, when you go into those slidey bits, sometimes your kart will just turn sideways, and one of those slidey bits, I don't think it was this one in particular that's going on, but whenever I would touch the slide, my kart would instantly turn sideways, and I had to change my kart at some point into like a more regular one instead of this like sort of low profile golf cart one, just because I didn't know if I was like turning sideways because I was a lower profile kart. Not exactly sure, but it eventually worked. And so right now I am on what am I on, like level 6 or something? Yeah, these were relatively long, so some of them were fairly short. Some of them I actually did just straight up one shot and didn't have to worry about it too much, but some of them were very tricky and I got stuck on it. So what did you all get for Christmas? Tell me what you all got down below, because I got some cool things and I got some things that I really needed, and you know, I didn't want to just buy them myself. You always, you know, I always try to save a few things so that way I can ask for them for Christmas, because people are always like, you're so difficult to shop for, so I try to save a few items and ideas once I get closer towards the holiday, so that way I can ask for them, and then that way people can't complain about it. Okay, we're on level 6, so that wasn't too bad. So level 6 is one of the slidey ones. This is yeah, this is the one where I had to change the kart, and as you can see, as soon as I touched that slide, my kart went sideways. And this one is so difficult because you have to land in that tube in a very specific way, because if you hit that exit too fast or too hard, you'll actually go flying off the track because it teleports you onto this track, and it was fairly difficult to do because of that. And this kart, for whatever reason, worked better than the other one. So now this track in particular, and many of these tracks also had like multiple stages to them. So like this one we're on like the 3rd stage of this track, and it's a bomb cart is chasing me sort of thing, and you have to basically outrun it. But I don't really know when the kart stops chasing me. As you can see, I'm going way faster than it. And honestly, I don't mind bomb cart chases. There is one later on in one of the later tracks. It's actually like a slow speed chase. It's not a high speed chase. It's a very slow chase because you have to also dodge like axes on a loop and stuff like that. But after a long chase, we will hit this tube here, jump on over and hit level 7. Level 7 is also a slide here. As you can see, you have to go down the slide and dodge a bunch of items. So like these kill bricks here, they don't immediately kill you. They do a good decent amount of damage, but yeah, so you got to be very careful on what you're hitting. Eventually you'll hit this really weird room where when I will zoom out here in a second, and when I do, you realize it's kind of like a little bit of a maze, and you kind of have to go through and find the middle of the maze. As you can see, here's the zoom out here, and it's really easy. There's only really one direction to go, and as you can see, after traversing through it, there's a middle bit here that will teleport us right to level 8. So pretty easy, that one. Just getting there was kind of the more difficult part, but we did just, I do believe I just straight up one-shot level 8 here. I don't think I ever actually failed this one. It looks like just a giant loop for the most part, and it was kind of refreshing to have a few levels that were like midway through that were a little bit easier. Level 9 is fairly straightforward. You got to dodge some snowballs, you got to get some timing with it, but overall fairly simple in terms of what you need to do. Some jumps that could be a little bit complicated if you're not careful with how you do it. Typically the way, if you don't know how to do jumps, typically the way you want to do it is as soon as you hit the end of the jump, you want to let go of your movement in any way, because if you hold forward or backwards, it'll mess you up. I almost overshot, but we landed here at level 10. Level 10, it is a big jump here. You have to land right here, and I almost went right off the edge. Big slide here, and if you can land on the slide and not get killed by icicles and stuff like that, it's actually not a terrible level. It's not that difficult. I don't think that the icicles kill you right away, they just do damage, and then of course you land here, and that's level 10. And this map's a little bit of a pain in the butt. You can see I'm sitting here waiting on this snowball to go down, because if I were to go now, the snowball would come down, hit me, and send me flying off. So I'm waiting on the snowball to come down, and as it's coming down, when it's about to go off the edge is when I want to go, because if I were to go too early, it would knock me off. If I go too late, it'll also knock me off, because then it'll just respawn. Now this is where you have to be very precise. You have to land on that ring and that wreath, and right here is very, very lucky that I actually didn't fall off there, because the last couple times that I had tried to get there without falling off, I had landed and jumped and then fell off the track or something like that, just to get the thing to respawn. And so that little area is a little bit tricky, but the rest of this now isn't too bad, and we're here. Level 12 is a pain in the butt. This one right here, the intro of it, as you can see, not too bad. This isn't too terrible. You got to dodge that snowball, but right here, the presents are bombs, so you don't want to touch them or else they'll blow up and send you flying. And so you got to do these sort of like stairwell walk things, but this right here is pretty difficult. You have to time it so that you go in between the axes without taking any damage, because the axes do like a third of your health. The icicle does a third, so if you get hit by both axes and an icicle, you're straight up dead. So you really have to be careful with how you take these. But we're gonna go into this tube, and it says slow. If you go too quickly in that tube, you will go flying off, but you do have to stop right here, because a snowball is gonna come down and go flying off, and this is when you wanna go. Rest of that's pretty easy. Once you get through it, you're able to get to level 13. Level 13 is nothing but a slide, and you are going to be dodging snowballs the entire way until a certain point, but you want to make sure that you don't get hit by them, because they will knock you into death zones. Level 14. Level 14, I spent a lot of time here, mostly dodging all of these axes, because they just straight up one-shot you, so they have difference of health here. Down here on the slide, you have to dodge these trees, and this is a very long slide. There are presents on the next bend here after this jump, and they do blow up and send you flying, so you do have to be very, very careful not to hit anything and not to go like crazy. And a big jump that you don't want to miss. Level 15 is another pain in the butt. You have to be very careful on these jumps. And this is where the loop and the axes are, and it will go right into a bomb cart that will take you to another loop and axe. The axes do one shot, so you have to make sure you're sort of slowing down and timing it just right. You kind of want to wait until they're sort of all the way to the bottom right and then go. And as you can see, the cart is right on me. It ends after that loop, the cart, or the bomb cart does. And now the rest of it is essentially going up a hill, dodging snowball boulders that fall down, that sort of thing. And then making sure that you hit the jump here at the end just right. So you're going to go into this tube. It is very easy for it to actually screw it up, so you do have to hold forward. And I have hit this funnel so many times and gone flying off in the wrong direction, which is why I jumped off of my cart there, because it actually went flying the wrong way and I tried to save it. This right here boosts you forward, and you have to hold backwards the whole time so you don't go flying. And there is a lot of timing here. All right, the final jump. Make sure you're holding forward, and then boom, level 17. Level 17 has this little bit of a path here that you have to be very careful while driving on. So you really need to be able to time your movement so that as you spin, because you will spin out, it will thrust you in the direction that you want to go. So as you can see, I'm just kind of spinning, and then whenever I face the right direction, I am hitting my thrust or hitting my acceleration to move me, and then it takes you right into the actual cart ride itself, which isn't too terrible. Until we reach the end where we hit level 18. Level 18 is where this game really takes its difficulty and just straight up ramps it up. So you're going around this present, which is something we did very much earlier in the game, but not only do you have to be careful about your speed, there will be jumps, there will be loops, but you are constantly dodging icicles that are falling. They don't kill you immediately, but they do quite a bit of damage. And so you have things like loops here. And one of the things that you will probably need to do is, as you're playing, would be to take your camera and look up just to make sure you can see where the icicles are, and then you could position yourself to be in between them. That way when they fall, you can then move forward and not get hit. Once you get past the present and you get to the top, you'll go down into these reeds where there will be a teleport to the very top of the present, where you will get out, get in a new cart, and then you will go to the end here, drop off, and it'll take you through through another portal. But you gotta get this right, and this will take you right to level 19. Level 19 is super difficult. As you can see, there's a giant Christmas tree in front of me. This whole level is probably the length of most regular cart rides. This is my best run on it, and I probably only made it about a quarter of the way through. So if you were somebody who actually made it through level 20, big kudos to you, because I did this one a lot and I couldn't beat it, and I got to a certain point where I got super frustrated with it and I ended up just skipping it. And as you can see, I made a jump that was too much. I just said forget it, skipped ahead. You'll get to see the UGC, and there's a cart you can unlock as well. So not only is there a UGC up here at the end, there is a snowball cannon cart on the left. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to leave a like on the video. Feel free to subscribe. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna get some much needed rest, and I will see you guys next time. I've been davidhydemusic, and I am signing out.